I've studied many YouTubers over the years, and what I've come to find is that the most successful YouTubers have a content calendar. Now, I had never been one to really utilize a calendar because I never wanted to be structured in a time blocking sort of thing. But if the most successful YouTubers are using a content calendar and they're time blocking and all that, then there must be something to it, right? And then as I started my content creating journey, I quickly realized that without a time blocking schedule, without any sort of calendar, I quickly fell behind. And then when I finally gave in and started time blocking my weeks out and mapping out my months and what they're going to look like, what I'm going to post, when I'm going to post, things started to change. Things started running smoothly. And what that revealed to me is that all of us, if we're getting into content creation, all of us can benefit from having a content calendar for time blocking our weeks out, mapping out our months, and making our YouTube journey that much easier. In today's video, I'll be covering 3 main topics to help you create your perfect YouTube schedule. Let's get into it. This first main point I'm calling the sustainability triangle. Time, energy, and life integration. Miss any of these and your schedule will absolutely fall apart. Let's start with time mapping and taking a look at the available hours that we have. I'll explain what I did for this so that you can grasp and understand exactly what I mean. So before I started my YouTube journey, I took a look at a typical week for me. And what I saw was that I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I have 2 gym days in the evenings after work. And my weekends are mostly freed up for the most part, where I'm mainly focusing on spending quality time with the people around me and preparing for the upcoming work week. And of course, taking care of any additional tasks around the house that I need to take care of. And I also took inventory of the amount of time, the amount of minutes, hours that I was just scrolling, entertaining, consuming myself throughout a given week. And what I found was that in just Monday through Friday, I was consuming at least 2 hours of content. So I knew if there was something I needed to cut out to fit in editing or recording or whatever it may be for content creation, that I could cut into that snippet of time. I could reduce the amount of time that I'm consuming content and replace it with time that I'm creating content. Next, let's take a look at our energy levels, and I'll provide an example of what I did for looking into my energy levels throughout a given week. So I knew I had weeknights to work on content creation. I also knew I had weekends to work on content creation. Knowing myself, I knew that I could insert editing into my weeknights because editing is one of those things where it doesn't require a whole lot of processing to know and understand what you're doing. I reflected on my weeknights by asking myself, well, how do I feel each night after I come home from work? How do I feel after I eat something after work? How do I feel at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m.? And I knew I could definitely fit in some content creation time every single weeknight. I had some energy. It wasn't high energy for creative processing, but it was decent energy to where I could do something like editing, which that is exactly what I do. Typically, every weeknight is some editing. And then I looked at my weekends. So again, my weekends are mostly freed up for the most part. And since I'm home on those 2 days, I have a whole lot more energy in the mornings and in the afternoons to where I could definitely do some creative processing, do some scripting, some planning, some recording of videos. So that's what I utilize my weekend mornings and afternoons for, is planning, scripting, and recording videos. And then when it comes to responding to comments or focusing on community building and networking with other content creators, those type of tasks, I just simply insert them in pockets of time throughout any given day. And now let's look at life integration, making YouTube fit your life. Fully commit to making YouTube fit your life if you're serious about this YouTube journey. Just as you would add gym days to your weekly schedule if you were committed to health and maybe looking better and feeling better for this year, you would add editing time, planning time, scripting time, recording time of videos in your week if you decided you were committed to starting YouTube and committing on the YouTube journey. The integration is painful at first because it's new. It's something you've never done before. It's unfamiliar. And you're most likely having to give up things in your weekly schedule to be able to fit in these additional things, like editing, planning, recording. But just know that over time, the YouTube life will feel normal to you. You just got to be patient. If it's important to you, be patient and you'll thank yourself later. When I first started my YouTube journey, I committed to posting a new video every Tuesday, which meant every Monday I was cramming and hurrying up to edit the video I was going to be releasing Tuesday morning and then uploading it to YouTube that night, that Monday night, and then scheduling it out to be released Tuesday morning. That's what I did every Monday night. It was fine in the beginning, but then over time, eventually I started realizing that all of a sudden, instead of going to bed at 10 p.m., I was going to bed at 11 p.m. and then all of a sudden midnight and then a little bit later. And then of course it's a work night where I'm waking up at about 5 a.m., not getting much sleep, feeling exhausted the next day, having it affect my work, taking my body maybe a day or two to recover from feeling exhausted and getting a lack of sleep, and repeating that cycle week after week until I finally reached a point like, nope, I'm going to post on Wednesday now instead. And you would think that, okay, you move it out a day, you're going to run into the same issue, but that actually has never happened yet, ever since I moved it to Wednesday. Why? I don't know, but I think it is because it gave me a whole extra weeknight to work on the editing if I didn't get too much editing over the weekend, for example. And that is the main reason why, the main culprit as to why oftentimes I was cramming to hurry up, stay up late, to do all the last remaining editing and uploading that I needed to do to post the video for Tuesday morning. Because some weekends I just didn't have time to do the amount of editing that I had hoped to do. But having that extra weeknight, so then having Monday night to do editing and then Tuesday night to do editing and then uploading, it was a perfect schedule for me. And it still carries on to this day, where my post dates, where I post new videos, is every Wednesday morning. I'm uploading my video every Tuesday night and scheduling it out to be made public for Wednesday morning. So if there is any key takeaway from this first main point, it would be that trial and error testing is normal and to be expected. You must remind yourself to be patient. Be patient with yourself. Let's get into the second point, and I'm calling it the reality check method. First, you want to audit your current commitments. Since planning content and scripting out videos and recording videos and editing videos and uploading videos might all be new to you, they will all definitely take longer than you think, which means that current routines and activities are going to be disrupted. There was a very big difference between what I thought versus reality when it came to the amount of time it took to edit a video or record a video or script out a video. Oftentimes I said, recording this video is only going to take 30, 40 minutes. And then an hour and a half later, I'm done recording the video. Why? Because I had multiple takes that I had to do over and over and over again, which if you're not used to that, that is something you eventually get used to doing as you record more videos. Even when it came to editing videos, I dramatically underestimated how long it takes to edit a video. I was thinking, maybe 2-3 hours. Nope. Definitely not the case. It's more like 4 to 6 hours to edit down a video, where I chunk it into days, of course. Maybe one day I edit for 30 minutes. Another day, maybe I edit for an hour. Another day, maybe I edit for 2 hours. It all compounds over time to equal maybe 4 to 6 hours of editing. But this is why it's so important to just get started, start planning, start scripting, start recording, start editing, experience those things, take inventory of exactly how long in reality it takes to do each thing, and then fit those time blocks into your schedule. Again, if you're serious about this YouTube journey, this will be critical so that then you can start stripping away other things that are less important, like consuming content versus creating content. You're adding and creating content, you're reducing consuming content, or whatever lesser activities that are not as important to where you want to go and what goals you want to accomplish. Next, you want to build in buffer zones. What does this mean? If, for example, you had set on your calendar that this Monday, I'm going to finish the editing of this particular video, but you don't get around to it. Life gets in the way, something happens, and you just couldn't do it. And so building in a buffer zone is then you saying, okay, now I'm going to make a new commitment date on Wednesday, for example, that same week on Wednesday, 2 days later. But make that an absolute. I absolutely must get the video fully edited and done Wednesday, because I didn't get around to it on Monday, but I will make sure to highly prioritize it for that particular day. And that's exactly what I mean by buffer zones, is that knowing that life gets in the way, circumstances pop up, and you never know what to expect when it comes to life, right? So having grace with yourself and being okay with if you miss a day of uploading a video, it's fine. If you miss a day of editing a video or scripting out a video, it's fine. But still rise to the occasion of being responsible for editing that video or posting that video, and setting a future day that same week, if possible, to be able to say, all right, I'm going to follow through and do what I said I'm going to do. And I'm going to fully commit, and I'm going to be done editing this video on this day instead. Or I'm going to post this video on that day instead. And then you want to account for learning curves. Remember, there's a learning curve for everything. Anything new you've ever done, you've had a learning curve that you've had to go through. It takes time, practice, and experience to develop mastery. So if you ever catch yourself getting frustrated or feeling overwhelmed, just remind yourself that this is normal, that you're new to all this, you're still practicing, you're still experiencing, and eventually you'll develop mastery to where everything becomes second nature, to where everything, all of a sudden, you can take care of that much faster than you are currently. In fact, I remember when I first started my YouTube journey, I started with book summaries, recording book summaries on books that I had already read or books that I was already reading and taking notes on. And what this did is it helped alleviate a lot of that frustration that comes in the beginning and that feeling of being overwhelmed. Because I took what I was already doing, but then I decided to then just put myself in front of a camera and talk about my notes and the book itself, rather than just keeping it to myself. So I'd say the key takeaway here for the second point is to, first of all, start with what you know so that you can reduce the amount of frustration and possible overwhelm that you might feel when you're first starting something new, and set realistic expectations for yourself, because that will also dramatically reduce the amount of frustration and overwhelm you may feel, because then you're not thinking like, oh no, I gotta hurry up and rush this. This is taking way longer than I expected, and then produce a horrible piece of content, right? You don't want to do that. You want to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. Now let's get into the third point, and I'm calling this the flexibility framework. So as we discussed in the last point, you want to be flexible because life happens. And because life happens, you want to create backup content for yourself. So if you're just starting your YouTube journey and you haven't posted a video yet, I'd say create 4, 5, 6 videos in advance. Have them fully edited and ready to post, and start with that before you post your first video. That way, as long as you start with just one new post a week, then you have 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks of content already ready and backed up. And what this does is it just gives you peace of mind that you don't have to rush into the next week and the next week and count on this one video that you have. You know that you have other videos in the pipeline, and that if by chance there's a given week where just a lot is happening and you're not able to edit a new video or record a new video, you have a video ready already. Post that video. Or if you're already a content creator and you've already posted some videos, what you could do is just start batch recording videos on one particular day. Batch record 2, 3, 4 videos in a single day. Back to back to back to back. Changing your clothes. Make it look like it's you recording it on a different day and a different time. Some of you may already be doing that, and if you are, then great, that's awesome. That's actually what I did in the very beginning when I started my YouTube journey, is I batch recorded every Saturday and or Sunday, depending on which day I was most free. Some days I recorded 2 videos, some days I recorded 3 videos, some days I recorded 4 videos. I don't think I ever went beyond 4 videos in a single day, as your energy can definitely dwindle the more videos that you stack on top of each other in a single day that you decide to record. So that's why I eventually got to the point where I steered away from batch recording. And now, currently, I record just 1 video every single weekend or 2 videos. So if I can record on Saturday, I'll record on Saturday. And then if I can record Sunday, I'll record Sunday as well. But no pressure to do so. But the pressure is making sure that I commit to recording at least 1 video every single weekend. The batch recording piece of it for me to be able to get ahead if I need to, is definitely making sure that I record at least 2 videos in a given weekend currently. That's how it is for me. And I like it that way because then I'm able to pour the right amount of focus and energy into each piece of content that I'm recording, rather than feeling like I'm just giving leftover energy out to you to view, right? I don't like that feeling, so that's why I record 1 video on Saturday or 1 video on Sunday, or record 1 video Saturday, 1 video Sunday. That's what I do right now, and it works for me. And it's not just about getting ahead on your videos. You also got to consider getting ahead on the editing of your videos. You also got to consider getting ahead on your thumbnail creations. I use Canva to create thumbnail creations, so getting ahead on that as well, and maybe even getting ahead on how you're going to title a particular video and what the video description is going to be, and what the tags are going to be, and what are the keywords going to be, and all those things to think about. You can get ahead on all those things. Make a note of them wherever you make notes. Because if you get ahead of those things, then when it comes to uploading the video, it's going to be that much quicker to upload the video. Because then on the spot, when you're uploading the video, you're not having to, well, what is the title going to be? What is the description going to be? What are the tags going to be? The keywords going to be? You don't have to think about those things because you've already put in the work ahead of time. Another way to get ahead is just simply skip a week of posting a video. This then allows you to get ahead on your editing, on your thumbnails, or your planning, or your scripting, or whatever it may be. As long as you don't have it written somewhere that you post every Tuesday or post every Wednesday a new video, as long as you don't state those definitive things anywhere on your channel, then it's fine to skip a week every now and then to get caught up if you absolutely need to. As long as no one is expecting that you are uploading a new piece of content every single week, then it's fine. In fact, holiday weeks are great weeks to decide to not to post something because people are usually distracted or spending time with family or friends, depending on what holiday week it is. And they're just not going onto YouTube like they normally do. Now, of course, it depends on your niche, of course, whether you should decide to not post on a holiday week or a certain specific holiday. But it's still a very valid option to consider. I actually skipped a week a few weeks back. New Year's week, I skipped that week, didn't post anything new, and I used that extra time to map out what this new year would look like for my content. Additionally, of course, I was able to get caught up on other things, on thumbnails, on scripting, on editing, video recording, all that. So I'd say the key takeaway for this third point is remain flexible with your schedule, so that you can reduce your stress levels and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. If you're ready to build out your perfect YouTube schedule, then comment below, let others know. And of course, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, share it with somebody who you feel could benefit from this content. And I'll finish with a mental health tip that ties in everything that I discussed in today's video. Remember, your worth is not tied to your upload consistency. A missed video is not a failed week. It's just a data point helping you build a more realistic schedule. In closing, be kind to yourself so that you can be kind to others. Serve yourself so that you can serve others. It starts with us. And so if we're going to accomplish the goals that we have set for ourselves, if we're going to become a successful YouTuber this year and have a successful start to our YouTube journey, we've got to start with ourselves. We've got to structure and plan out what it's going to look like of how we're going to get from point A to point B. And it starts with creating that content schedule. Let's get after it. Until next time, take care.